Welcome to the Screen Time Continuum. We are blinking into this episode, making sure that you guys can see us, hear us, and hoping that you guys have enjoyed your weekend, your time with the people around you. It's a wonderful time of the year. And because of that, we are going to continue to bring you wonderful reviews. Today's review is on a movie entitled Renfield. But before we give you any information about when that came out, who it has in it, yada, 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 let me go ahead and introduce the fellas. Nick, how you doing? How you feeling?
Hey, hey, man, I'm good. Happy Sunday. How you doing?
Happy Sunday. I'm doing well. And
Good.
I'm not even sure if I introduced myself first. My name is Keelan. Not sure if I said
Mm.
that, but what's going on out there, guys? Um, it's good to know that you're doing well, Nick. And yeah, it is actually a wonderful Sunday. It's actually one of those Sundays that feel like Saturday, if I'm being honest, like where the
I
day just kind
wish
of
I could
smooths
use
by.
another
I
day
wish it
off.
was. Yeah, I absolutely wish it was, but it feels that way. But it's not. So we all got to make sure we wake up tomorrow knowing what day it is. Mike, how you feeling over there, brother?
I got news for you.
No.
I'm good.
Yes, indeed. But yeah, it's awesome to
I
hear
have
as well
so
that you're
many
doing well.
drops that I need to add to the board
Mhm.
here. Jeez
Right.
Louise.
Good
Definitely need
drops.
a couple of those funny ones.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, indeed. So with that being said, it's a good Sunday. I'm not exactly sure why I have my football announcer voice on right now, but it is what it is. It's just not going anywhere. I tried to shake it and it keeps coming back. With that being
It's
said,
because the
we're here
Broncos won.
ugh, shame on you.
Hurtful.
Shame on you. Yeah, no, not hurtful. You want to hear about hurtful? We'll do a whole episode about the NFL on another show, and I'll invite you over to that. Well, we could talk about hurtful. You want to talk about hurtful? Just I mean, it's been some great games, but not for my teams. Anyway, um,
My, I think my team only won 2 times this year. What you mean?
who the Commanders?
Who?
Exactly. With that being said, we are here to give you guys a review of the 2023 Nicolas Cage film. That's right. Did you know Nicolas Cage came out with a movie this year? He did. It was a comedy. It was funny. We're reviewing it right now. It's called Renfield. Renfield came out, I think, I'm not sure
August.
exactly when. Did it come out in August?
I think it was August 17th.
You know what's
April
so crazy about
14th.
that? Oh, thank
Oh,
you. Okay, that's what I was about to say. I'm like, what's so crazy about that is I swear I've been hearing about this movie and reading about this movie since in the spring. So okay, it did come out in spring or around that time. Now, usually I have absolutely no information at all on these movies. Today, Nick, I have a little bit of information, so I'm going to try to lend some of what I got. And this isn't even off the top of my head. This is because we watched it on Amazon, which is where this movie is currently streaming. If you guys want to go and see it, check it out. Go ahead over to Amazon Prime and check that out, or just go over to your Amazon Video and purchase it for rent if that's what you choose to do. But as I was saying, Nick, I have a little bit of information, so I'm going to read that, and then if I missed anything, could you fill that in for me?
Sure.
All right, sounds good. So, Renfield came out in 2023. It runs for 94 minutes. Ooh, we have an IMDb score of 6.4, which is interesting. But it is starring Nicholas Hoult, Nicolas Cage, and Aquafina. It is directed by Chris McKay, uh, and it is distributed by Universal Pictures. I am not gonna try to read that because I can't read that. So yeah, that's all I have. Nick, can you help me with the rest? I think that's the bulk of it, but
Yeah, I think you got all of it. You got the Chris McKay, Ryan Ridley, Robert Kirkman, Ava Trammer, stars Holt, Nicolas Cage. Yeah. And the synopsis for this is Renfield, Dracula's henchman and inmate at a lunatic asylum for decades, longs for a life away from the Count, his various demands, and all of the bloodshed that comes with them. Yeah.
hmm,
Was he was he an inmate at a lunatic asylum?
not in the
no, but
movie.
that's the spin, right? So, but I think that's the spin on the layer that he found for him in modern time, because I want to say that was an abandoned lunatic hospital.
Well,
Oh,
in the movie, in the book Dracula, he was in the asylum when he first
oh,
meets
Oh,
Dracula, and he goes back to England. Renfield is in the asylum.
But in this movie,
Okay, gotcha.
totally that's
But it has
trying.
nothing to do with this movie.
Yeah, no. So what is on Amazon Prime for this movie is having served Dracula for centuries, which your version just said decades, and in the movie it's more so decades, but in the explanation it says for centuries. Renfield looks for a new life outside of his master's shadow if he can break the bizarre bond first. Um, hmm. Yeah, I'm not sure what's up with why'd they put that on Google? That's weird.
They probably just took the synopsis for the older version of this movie. I think there was
Yeah.
an older version of this movie in the 50s or 60s.
Okay.
Or maybe not. No, that could be just from the book.
From the book, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think
there's
it's
so many.
based off the Dracula book.
Right.
Yeah,
Some
there's a
of
lot
it
of
anyway.
Dracula adaptations out there, so yeah,
Right.
there are definitely parts of it that are not from the lore, such as the way that the familiar goes about his existence. But hey,
Right. Because Renfield's not with Dracula when he first becomes a vampire, but he is once. I think it's like during this either the 17 or 1800s,
yeah,
something like that.
well,
But it's
either way,
closer to modern times than it is a far away from it. So
right, right. But with that being said, the 2023 Renfield is clearly, as we've already discovered, nothing like those of which we have seen before. It's quite different, gives some new elements, and I think it's time we should get into our first impressions. Hey, Mike, what are your first impressions of the movie Renfield?
I told you it's hilarious. Nah, entertaining. The only thing this movie was missing, and I told Nick about it earlier. The only thing this movie was missing was a whole rendition of Scuttlebutt. If you know, you know.
You did not want a rendition of Scuttlebutt.
I did. Anytime I see her, that's all I can think about now.
That's crazy.
Honestly, I thought the movie was entertaining. Not excuse me, not a huge comedy fan, but I do like a good laugh. To be fair, I mean it had issues, but you know it was entertaining. I enjoyed it.
Indeed, indeed. Nick, how'd you think? How'd you feel? How'd you think? What did you
Mm,
think?
what does I think? Yeah, no, I think that this movie was enjoyable enough. I don't know if I like really crazy about it, but I will say it's the first decent vampire film that I've seen in a while. Um,
Best
if you think
Nicolas
of it.
Cage movie.
Yeah, I mean, he does a decent job in this movie. Although I will say that I don't feel like there was enough of him
Mhm.
in the film. I think we could have done with a little bit more, if I'm being honest.
Mhm.
Yeah, a fun film, pretty quick. Nothing offensive about it. It's got some funny moments. It's got some pretty good gore and sort of violence in it. That sort of uh, is a little bit comic booky. It's a little bit far fetched, but it goes well with the tone of the movie, which doesn't take itself too seriously. And I think that that's fine. I don't know what it's missing for me not to just like be really enthusiastic about it, but um, there is something that is kind of missing from it that makes me not as like, oh, this was amazing or anything like that. I don't
Better
know what it
writing.
is. Yeah, I don't even know. Maybe the story would have needed to be completely different. For what it is, I think it was absolutely serviceable and it did its job well. But that kind of leaves me with not very much to talk about.
Yeah.
You know,
More Kyle jokes.
was there a Kyle joke in this?
Oh my God, the whole movie's a
Fuck
Oh,
damn
you,
Kyle
Kyle.
joke.
oh, okay. Oh, yeah, yeah. I kind of tune Aquafina out whenever she's on the screen, so that might have been the problem for me.
It's cool. It's a whole part of this movie, man. Um.
I don't know. Nora
Okay.
Lum
Sounds
is
good.
not that entertaining to me.
Oh damn, not Nora. Jeez, you don't. You would never mind. We could talk about that off air. I'm gonna say you don't like Nora. Nah, I know. I get it.
Mhm.
I mean, you know what? I'll say it this way. Some things are funny. Some things are momentous. Stick to your moment. So, I don't know. I think it's funny. Look, I'm like, I
Top
have
10.
way more to say. I'm not gonna lie. But either way, uh, I actually liked this movie as well. I thought it was nice. It was refreshing, kind of, but wasn't it wasn't like side bursting funny, but it
Mhm.
was like, oh, that's the. I think I say this quite often when it comes to some movies. Like, oh, that's what you're doing. Okay, I get it. That's funny. I get it. Um, this movie, I wrote it down so I could say it correctly. What I realized, this is like that. This is like a comedy spoof of like a makeover movie, right? Like, there's always that
Mhm.
character that has to get, the done up in some way. But what I liked about it is even when it started to get really happy, it quickly reminded you, like, oh wait, no, this is still about Dracula. Like, it's not gonna stay that way for too long. You get 30 seconds of smiles. Now let's get back to some bloodshed. Um, but still maintaining some level of a humorous beat. I enjoyed that.
Mhm.
I think you guys have said pretty much everything else that needs to be said. Uh, but the main thing is what Nick said. This movie does not take itself too seriously. So you see and hear or think of a lot of stuff while you're watching it, and you want to be critical, but then you realize you'd be ruining the movie experience for yourself. So I
You
Yeah.
know
kind of
what?
like when movies do that to me,
You know
honestly.
what? I wanted to say this too before we really got into it. I think this movie would have been better if we'd have watched it together because I think it would have made it a lot funnier for all of us. Because if one of us start laughing about something stupid,
Everybody
I
gonna
think it
giggle.
becomes
Yeah,
infectious.
yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like one of those, like, you see this stupid shit.
right. Like I
See
can't
that
believe they actually put this in print.
we gotta start using these watch party features on some of these apps. They do exist. They
True.
does exist. Huh.
Maybe.
Yeah, I think the movie is I like that it doesn't take itself seriously because I didn't really find anything to criticize about it. I think that it
Mhm.
was just it is what it is. It's not trying to do anything more than what it did, and that's cool. I think it
Yeah.
executes its job perfectly fine. Um,
Yeah.
yeah.
And they don't hide what's going on. I mean, from the very beginning, actually we can jump into it from this point. Um, from the very beginning of this movie, when you meet Renfield and you kind of see where he is, you get a quick flashback to where it all began, or kind of more so how they ended up in modern times, more so than where it all began. And
Hmm.
you see immediately he's Dracula's familiar slash servant. And the first thing we see is they kill the last of the demon, or the demon, but the last of the vampire slayers, essentially. So the last of the
Hmm.
vampire slayers has trapped Dracula in a protection circle, and it's like, all right, time to take him out. Like, damn, they just started the movie. How we killing Dracula already? Kind of business, right? But instead, Renfield saves him. He does his job. But
With a slipper.
that well, right, with a slipper, exactly. But that immediately to me is like, okay, we're killing the last of the vampire slayers, and we already know he not happy in his situation, being his familiar. Oh, okay. Let's see how they play this out. We know what's coming now. Now let's see how they play this out. Um, to me,
It takes
that
a long time for Dracula to recover, huh?
it does
It
take a
looks like
long
it,
time, and I actually thought that was important because I think
but
that
only when
built.
it starts up.
Yeah.
Only before the movie starts up though, because he recovers pretty dang quick once the movie gets going.
Within a
Well,
matter of
yeah, but there's a
days.
reason for that. Right. But I
Right.
think there's a reason for that. So what I realized was, or what I started thinking was, the reason it was taking him so long to regenerate at first is because Renfield really wasn't bringing back quality food. He wasn't hardly bringing back any food at all. But
No, you can't make that argument because he was bringing him back before the movie started. And his discontent was showing. I'm pretty sure he was giving him what he wanted, and he had quite a bit of time to do it. Even if he
well,
was sending him back the, even if he was bringing him the not great for his complexion food, the amount of time it took him to recover and the food he was getting at the time got him recovered pretty damn quick.
I
Mhm.
understand.
So that's kind of a
Here,
plot armor.
here where I'm a breakdown because I really was about to say something, or I thought I was about to say something, but I hear what you're saying. So what I thought about was Renfield made it as if he wasn't finding anything. And then when we see him at first, it's like he's going through this rebuilding process, right? So we don't know if he's actually taken him back any food yet from the time they're in right now. We know he's been feeding them, getting there, but for whatever reason, later in the movie, he says, I've seen him come back from worse.
Right.
And,
And there's the
that
wall of
made
blood
me
bags.
think, right. And that's the only thing that made me think, like, okay, maybe he couldn't eat, or so, like maybe something was worse off than just him not being able to eat during that period of time. But as soon as we get to him, he literally takes him 3 bodies the very first night.
Yeah.
Right.
It's possible that it took him a long time to get to the ability of eating. And then once he was
That's what I
able
was
to eat,
thinking.
then he, that's possible. Yeah.
But why not
Because
just bathe him in blood
because
too? That's also what I'm thinking.
yeah, in the 1800s or whenever they're killing the vampire hunters, he gets charred up to a crisp and he's basically like a skeleton with a little
by
bit
the
of
But that would have
skin on
been
him.
but that would have been easier to feed him and what he needed too. Because I mean, you don't have all that reporting and all that scrutiny.
You'd think so.
Just saying.
Right. Well, I think the proof on that, Mike, is that there's only a track record that we find out later, which I'm kind of skipping around, but it's just kind of how movie isn't hard to follow. Um, that happens a lot later. We find out that the track record on the bodies is only 70 to 80 years, but we know he's been serving them for centuries.
In
So
America. So it's
yeah,
possible
in
that they
America. Well,
weren't
no,
in
no.
America.
No, that
She
was
said all over the
Interpol.
world. That was
Yeah,
Interpol.
that
She
was
said all over the world.
she was FBI searching.
Oh, okay.
You seem so enthusiastic.
No, I just don't think that they thought about it that much. So maybe we shouldn't think about it that much. I'm sorry.
No,
I brought
no,
it
but
up
they
though.
did
That's
though.
my fault.
No. I get you, Nick, because I was thinking the same thing when they said it, but they actually did say that in the movie, and I took note that they made effort to make sure she said all over the globe because I was trying to track the timeline, trying to see how far back they could track him, and that's when I had rewound that part a few times and listened. Like, okay, she said 70 to
Decades.
80 years. He would be seven. Well, no, she said he would be 70 to 80 years old. So they
Right.
haven't been able to track what he's doing or what's been happening longer than reality, about 60 years.
Is that to
But
insinuate
how
that
long has he been
Renfield
doing
is
it?
only 70 to 80 years old?
Well, that, yeah, because that's
As far as they know.
As far as they
they're
know, right?
yeah, as far as
Okay.
his
Gotcha.
actions, his
Right.
actions.
Yep.
Now what also confused me was how did they get his DNA in the database? Because that's how DNA actually works. But you know,
I don't know. Wouldn't he have some
Plot.
weird genetic? Anyways, yeah. Again,
it's all a bunch of plot that I think there are
Dun dun
speckles.
dun.
There are speckles of sense to be made of it, but at the end of the day, it goes back to what Mike said. It's all plot.
Right.
You know,
yeah. And honestly,
from the very beginning.
it's not that big of a deal. They're just
It's
trying to
and
say
right. This movie's
tell
not
a
that
story.
deep.
No,
Movie's
it's not.
not that deep at all. So yeah, he's a ghoul. I don't like the word familiar. I prefer to call them ghouls. Blame Vampire in Brooklyn. But I think Kadeem Hardison's version is much more realistic. And when you
Because
even
we had
put
the
it up
dropsies.
against mostly because he had the dropsies. But when you consider all other familiars through most of the older lore, there is some level of deterioration going on if especially if they're not doing their part as the some familiar. So I think they should only be considered familiars when they're doing their job, but when shit goes bad, they should be considered a ghoul because they should, lose some of their abilities. But let's get into that and what we're talking about because right now we're just talking about stuff that the listeners have no clue unless they've seen this movie. And again, if you've seen the movie Renfield, I'm glad you're here. If you haven't seen the movie Renfield, we about to take you on a ride, and it's a little too old for us to get spoiler warnings and spoiler alerts, but it did come out in 2023, so check that out. So Renfield is going to what would we call that? Was that be like a abuse anonymous?
Support group.
Yeah,
Yeah,
support group.
support group for people who are going through tough times at home, but they don't know how to get away from
It
their
had an
bosses.
acronym too. I just forgot what it was.
They did, and I didn't, for whatever reason, it didn't stick with me enough to write it down. But Renfield desires to be free of his bond to his boss. His boss is Dracula, and we see that Renfield was actually given and shown a pretty good, decent life. He came to Dracula. We saw that. We were given everything about Renfield from the very beginning, that Dracula was just Dracula being Dracula, where he was. And it was Renfield that came to him inquiring and asking for help and assistance to reach his levels of success, which success turns into kind of a reoccurring theme in this movie. But yeah, well, I guess we can kind of touch on that as we
Unpaid
go.
workitude.
Yeah, it's weird. The way they tried to spin that whole thing, the working part of it all.
What
But
working part of it all?
the working class part of it all, like trying to bribe Rebecca, the officer, with success is the best way of revenge, and then you think to
Oh.
yourself about what's going on with Renfield and all of that. It's like,
Oh, I just kind of meant, I just trying not to say the S word because I didn't know if we would get flagged for that too.
There's so many S words.
The Slavic one.
Slavic one?
Yeah.
I think I know the one he's talking about.
Yeah.
Slav.
Right.
It's
There you
crazy.
go.
I'm sitting here like,
You just call him a thrall. That'll
I know
work.
what he's talking
That
about.
works too. There you go.
Yeah.
Okay, I can go with that.
Mhm.
Well, that's technically what he is. I mean, thrall, familiar.
Mhm.
Ghoul
Yeah.
kind of fits too sometimes. It depends on the universe, but
I prefer
that's
Ghoul.
technically a different creature. Technically.
I said what I said.
Uh-oh.
But I understand as well.
Because they eat the dead. They don't eat bugs. They eat the dead.
They eat bugs too.
They eat the dead.
Okay, that's true. But you know more about that realm than I do, and I'm thinking like, you know what? From everything that I know,
Well,
everything I'm thinking of off the top of my head, I'm like, they do be
Nick
eating
got
dead
me the
arms
Book of
and stuff like
Monsters.
carrots.
Mhm.
Fair. But you hear me, right? I'm like, they do be eating dead arms like carrots. I can't really argue with what you say.
So,
the stuff you're eating books.
best part in the
Um,
beginning, he gets a cocaine bag in the face.
That's pretty funny.
That
Cocaine.
was pretty funny.
Oh,
By
man.
Jean Ralphio.
Yeah.
Yo, when he popped up, I was like, yo, okay, this is really about to get to it, because I think that dude's hilarious.
Ben Schwartz. He is funny.
Adam Schwartz, yeah. Who has that much energy and everything? Nobody but him. Makes you wonder if he's really on cocaine, which I don't think he is, because I don't think he could do his job if he was really on cocaine. But that's another conversation.
I mean,
So Renfield's job is to treat, clean, feed, and protect Dracula through the times and the centuries, so that Dracula can be, just a regular old dude. Dracula ain't trying to hurt nobody. He ain't doing nothing. And I think it's really interesting, or I know it's really interesting, that every Dracula lore seems to start with, oh, Dracula wasn't trying to hurt nobody. The immortal that drinks human blood and needs to kill, I don't know, about 3 people a day to live. Yeah, they're not trying to hurt nobody.
say who right now?
Exactly. Dracula.
See, vampiric lore gets so murky sometimes because, like, depending on who you're talking to, a vampire needs to feed more than once a day or more than once in a millennia.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Sometimes you're
So,
and they need the sparkle.
No sparkling.
No
This is the
sparkles.
best movie that's about vampires versus werewolves ever. Because the Lobos means wolf in Spanish.
Right.
They join forces, as they always do in every lore.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Sure, why not?
Even in that one, and I don't even like that one. Just it happens. What do you want from me? It's true. That's it. So anyway, we meet Renfield. Renfield is, trying to find a way to get away from his boss, who's his bad guy, the person who's doing dirt to him, which but we'll get to that. Basically what he does is he goes to the support group and he hears the people talk about these people that are being terrible to him, and he finds the person who's been doing terrible things to other people, and he feeds them to Dracula, because that's the right thing to do, is to feed bad people to Dracula.
And maybe once, until Dracula gets the person, and then he's like, I don't want you to feed me bad people, because he can taste it in the blood.
Yeah, he can taste the nastiness. He can taste the evil. He wants innocence.
He probably tasted the cocaine and the heroin.
I'm
Maybe.
pretty sure he tasted the cocaine and the heroin, which pretty good. I would think he would like that. I think that get him a little excited. But
Why did Renfield
Well,
decide to grow conscious now? I mean, I would assume that he's been feeding Dracula innocent people for hundreds of years.
so he found the
But
group because he was following the one guy because he thought he would be a nice meal for Dracula, and he found this group of sad people, and he was
Mm.
initially doing it because he thought these people were so sad that he thought he was getting off on it. Then he realized, wait, I'm sad too. And then he realized, wait, I could feed they people to Dracula. So he what is the word for that? When you make an excuse to do something.
Justified.
Thank you. He justified it by any means.
Yeah, I get that. I think, yeah. I think that's fine. But Renfield's a piece of shit too.
Yeah,
So
1000%. That's why I say that's why I had to make sure I clarified. He justified it by any
absolutely.
means because we'll get to that. And I love when Dracula told him about that. Like, hold on, bro. Don't come over here acting like like I was sitting in my castle minding my fucking business. You came knocking on my door.
Right.
And I gave you what you wanted, bitch. Anyway, sorry, I felt the way about that because I feel like when he said that, I was like, I'm on Dracula's side. Then I did this. Damn, I'm on Dracula's side. So anyway, Renfield goes and he's going to kill Mitch, who's the guy who's been abusing one of the ladies in the group, and finds out that Mitch been stealing drugs from the local gang, and the local gang come looking for it after Renfield kills all the friends, and then the hitman shows up, and the hitman is wearing a mask, and he's built like, Winnie the Pooh.
I was thinking more like Leatherface, but okay.
He's
Blood and
Leatherface.
honey.
He's built like the Thing. He's definitely Leatherface with blood and honey. He's built like the Thing, but he has a Leatherface mask on, and he throws what would those be? Throwing knives, like he's the fucking Daredevil.
Yeah.
And his
Wait a
name is
minute.
Apache Joe.
And his name is
Daredevil
Apache
doesn't throw
Joe.
knives.
That's right.
Sorry.
Thank you. It was not supposed to be some super coherent statement. The point I was making was he threw it like he was superhuman.
Maybe he meant Daredevil as in just the general term, Mike. Did you ever think of that? Maybe he didn't mean it as the superhero. Maybe he meant it as like a carnival performer.
Disney would be appalled.
Nick's version of what he's saying, because I didn't think about that.
A daredevil is just somebody that does death-defying stunts, which would include throwing knives at somebody that's spinning on a wheel.
Yep.
There you go.
And which is a whole. Oh wow. Anyway,
made it work.
Yeah. But I appreciate that. So yeah, beat up that dude, punched his head off, which I was trying to figure out why that dude wasn't dying. He done got shot. He had got poked up a couple times. What was his deal? What was he on?
Cocaine is
they borrowed him from Gotham City.
He definitely picked him up from Gotham City because they were only over in Bloodhaven. I don't know if y'all could tell by the layout. If you know, you know. Sorry. But yeah, so he punches his head off and it hits the window of a guy who's outside doing a line of cocaine because he's the big bad Teddy Lobo, and he gets freaked out and he speeds off and he crashes into a police checkpoint because he realizes he has a bunch of cocaine and the police are approaching him. But of course he gets off because they run this city. And I'm gonna keep running. Honestly, this is where I was like, okay, make this make sense. But they did make it make sense. Teddy Lobo is the son of, I guess her name is like Maria Lobo or something, because Mama Lobo is what I put her down as in my notes. She the queen.
Couldn't pronounce her real name either.
Yeah,
I saw that, and neither could I, and I didn't want to butcher it, but she did a fantastic job in her role.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's a Persian.
Can you shed some light on that one?
Yeah, she's Persian.
I know.
She's Persian.
Bella Francesca is her. Bella Francesca is the character's name. Lobo.
There you go.
I think her name is Sohre Agdashlu.
See, I could have got it.
That's much better than what I tried to say.
Yeah, I said you speak Farsi, so you knew where to put the accents, and I didn't.
Yeah.
Cause that's where I wouldn't. I was like, not gonna do this because there's no reason for me to butcher her name. She didn't ask for that,
yeah.
and she doesn't deserve that because she actually did a good job in this movie.
Yes, she did.
Let's see. So Teddy, nope. Yeah, Teddy runs away with the drugs in his hand and he throws them at the police and then he's arrested. We get back to Renfield, who's dragging 3 bodies, which, whoa, but he's dragging 3 bodies back to the lair for Dracula to feast on. And Dracula's like, what's this shit you bringing me? As we were just talking about, he don't like the taste of deception and disgust and
You
depravity.
don't want bad guy blood.
Yeah, and what's up with all these
Innocent
men you
blood
keep
tastes
bringing me?
better.
Look, he's like, hey, what's up with all these men? I want, some innocence, a busload of cheerleaders. And that's when Renfield kind of pull his card, like, oh yeah, of course, a busload. He's like, what? No, it's not a sex thing. This isn't a sex. Don't treat me like that. Like
I
it's
thought
just,
that part was actually kind of funny.
I did think it was funny because I was like, it's a sex thing, ain't it, you nasty
Yeah,
fucker?
yeah.
I see.
But
I
yeah,
didn't. I didn't necessarily assume that it was like a sexual thing. I just
I
figured
didn't either
that
until
like
you said it.
it's a group of kids. I
Uh-oh.
guess. Yeah. Well, I mean, cheerleaders. They're
Kids
not
and
going to be
school bus, he's right.
college cheerleaders.
Well, hold up. Wait a minute.
Have to ride
Huh.
buses
Something
to and
ain't
from the
right.
game.
No. Hold on. If we're talking about innocence, right? The delineation
you're
mark
right.
between innocence and adulthood is 18 years old. So, like the idea that you want innocent blood is, and then you say cheerleaders, and then nuns because nuns stay holy their whole
I was going to
lives.
bring that up. He definitely brought up nuns, and he also made sure to make it clear and delineate that this isn't a sex thing. I eat boys.
No, he just wants to eat them.
girls.
He just wants to eat them.
You just got to bring me some fresh, innocent meat. He brings
Still
all this
funny.
tainted murderer meat. It was one of those moments where it's like, see what you did there, Nick Cage. Don't do that shit no more in this movie. So yeah, so he gets mad. He tells him that he needs to bring him better food because you being an ungrateful little shit. And he slices his stomach open and lets him start bleeding out. And then we also see that Dracula's blood can heal any wound and bring you back to life because he is an immortal and he has the blood of an immortal. And exactly. So let's see. We see Teddy gets released from jail because even though he was about to tell everything on the whole operation, that's not how
He
this
was
works.
snitching.
He was straight up snitching to nobody.
Man, he was snitching in an empty room.
Yep.
Tweetily, like for real.
And his
But
lawyer
he
came
knows-
in and he's like, I didn't say shit.
I don't even know if that was his lawyer. That was probably just the IA lady. You know what I mean? She
Maybe.
worked for the police too.
Well,
Yeah, well, yeah, they work for somebody else. So let's see. He committed countless felonies. He got away. Rebecca's sister, who's an FBI agent, takes it out or tells Rebecca that she's acting, out of sorts and needs to get her shit together. So basically, she takes the cop side, even though she know that they picking on her sister. But her sister's FBI, so she's at a point where she already knows that these are some corrupt assholes, and you work with them. So how you don't know? I think that's really how her sister was looking at it. Like, what's going on. Like, just keep your head down so I can get you out of here, stupid. That's how brothers and sisters talk to each other.
Yep.
But let's see. Renfield sees everything Dracula wants when he's in the club the next night. And from the nuns to the innocents to the busload of cheerleaders. And I'm
Which was
assuming that
funny.
those were college cheerleaders, because why is a high school coming into a bar?
I'll be honest with you.
I don't know.
When he said he wanted cheerleaders, I was like, them ain't innocent no more. That's
what
an
I
old
mean.
concept.
Yeah. Maybe that's why
agree.
he thought. Maybe that's why he thought it would be that way.
Yeah. Okay. I see how that. Wow. Shame on you, Renfield the movie. Shame on you. Like what the flip?
They's pretending.
I use words like flip, so I don't get these jokes. I'm joking. Let's see. Punches the head off. Police named Aquafina. Really quick. Back to the meeting. I know I do this
Police
quite
named
often.
Aquafina.
Right.
Sorry. Read my notes. Things I should
It's
not read out
scuttlebutt.
loud sometimes.
Yeah.
Police name.
You mean
Rebecca.
Nora? I refuse
From
to use her
Queens.
stage name. I'm sorry.
From Queens.
So tired of
Yeah.
y'all right now. I think her real name is Nora, isn't it?
It is Nora
Yeah.
Lund.
Mhm.
From Queens.
Let's see. Oh, when they were talking about ska, and I thought like, why are they just dragging ska through this movie? What is the point?
I don't even know what
It's
that
supposed
is.
to be funny.
It's a would ska be a band?
It's a genre of
It's a
music, if you
genre of
want to
music,
call it
yeah.
that.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. I'm
It's
sitting
like
here like
it's
I
like
don't know.
reggae meets punk rock, but not in
That's
any of the good ways.
It's something you'd hear like rolling down the backwoods. Like if you were watching a movie,
Nah.
you think they play this if you're
now
running in the backsides of Russia.
think
No.
think terrible but awful but terrible.
Yeah.
That's the impression I got.
The dance that you
Oh,
do when
okay.
you're dancing to ska is called skanking. So I think you can put it together from there.
Hey. That's what you do when you listen to reggae.
You skank?
Skanking it.
Easy skanking. Never
Right.
mind.
Well, they stole that from reggae.
Yes, they did. And it probably means something different too.
Probably.
Plausible, yeah.
One
I would
has
think
rhythm
so.
and the other does. Yikes. All right. Let's get back on the
Colonizing
show.
another
Let's
genre of
get back
music,
on the
I
show.
see.
Well, yeah. All facts right here on Screen Time. Continue.
Right.
Whoa.
We have fun, people.
We do. See, Renfield sees everything he wants, but then Teddy and the boys come in trying to kill Rebecca, and Renfield sees that, and she stands up to Teddy. So Renfield feels obligated to help her, and you can see he's immediately falling in love at first sight. And after they have this big old get down, throw down fight where Renfield is slicing arms and stuff off with serving platters.
Pretty comedic.
Oh yeah, it was hilarious, but it was also a good scene too. And Rebecca is, top cop. She don't get shot. She don't get nothing. She stay on top of everything. They meet finally. They introduce themselves to one another, and a lust is broiling right in front of them because he saved her life. And there's
Is
nothing,
that
no
what
other
that
way to
was?
find.
Kind of
Yeah,
murdered
it's
a whole bunch of people, though.
murdered a whole bunch
Right.
of people. Like didn't subdue not one person. Literally killed everybody.
Yeah.
Nothing says sexy like a whole lot of murder.
Yeah, but she thinks
In
he's a
front of a
hero because
cop.
she saved his life.
Two cops.
Two cops. Well, but
The other cop was there.
that's true. But after all of that, he's kind of floating on back cloud nine or whatever the hell you call it, because he got to go back to the lair. He gets back, and Dracula is plotting his world domination. You know what I'm saying? I got a board up, son. Show you what we got planned. All right. So look, first we're gonna take over this side of the world. Then we're gonna take over that side of the world, and that's how it's
Any
going down.
questions?
And you know what I'm saying? Any questions? Because the world is made by Renfields for Renfields, and I'm the boss of Renfields because Renfields ain't shit. It's a bunch of yous out there. There's a bunch of yous. Why am I in here with you? I can control all of y'all. Y'all ain't nothing.
Because
And
Apache helicopters exist.
Well, people that, yeah. And
the hate bomb
eventually,
exists.
what are you going to eat if everybody's you?
Yeah.
How about this? Acid exists that your vampires can't
Sunlight
provide. That-
exists. Yeah.
We got weapons out here. Vampires. I'm gonna say the rest of all of my third stories vampires in the daylight because it's nighttime. I'm gonna stop.
All we need is Wesley Snipes.
Blade.
Or Mahershala Ali.
No,
Yeah.
no,
Womp,
no,
womp,
no.
womp. That's what Disney said.
They also never mind.
Yeah.
For shame. For that, I don't want Blade. I'll take Spawn, and all y'all can go.
Michael Jai White.
What did he say to the clown? With friends like these.
Mm-hmm.
I'm your friend. Anyway, so Dracula comes to the conclusion that he is a god in a world full of Renfields, and he wants to be treated as such. He should be in charge of the world. But Renfield runs away. He gets back to the group, and when he gets back to the group, he's like, I'm the worst, and nobody cares about Carol's story because everybody hates Carol. Even Carol hates Carol, which I actually thought
I
that
thought
shit was
that was
funny.
kind of messed up, though.
It was messed up, but that was funny. It's like, oh well, fuck Carol. There's nobody like Carol.
I don't even like
Crazy
Carol.
stuff. Right? And I'm like, oh, poor Carol. All right, what Renfield talking about?
Right, and then it happens a second time.
Yeah. So basically he goes back to his group and he talks about how sad he is and how he always felt alone till he met these people. And he needs to take his power back because Dracula's a narcissist. And what that leads to is Renfield getting an entire damn makeover, not showing back up to the lair, getting an apartment, wearing bright clothes, taking flowers to the police lady, and making me wonder, what's going on here? I thought this was about to be one of them horror fantasy movies with a little bit of comedy sprinkled in. This looks like a rom-com is brewing.
It is. It
What
tricked
do you
you.
mean? Looks like?
And Mina likes.
Except for the fact that there's absolutely no chemistry between Renfield and Aquafina.
Yeah.
Until
Well,
There's only platonicness
yeah,
there.
they
They're
they
not
definitely could have built them into best
romantic.
friends, and that would have been a much more
Are they
believable
romantic?
relationship. No,
yes,
they don't.
she
They
made
don't even
Yeah.
he
kiss.
made her murder cookies.
He did do
Oh,
that.
well, then you're just being silly. No, they're not really romantic.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Uh,
So yeah, it's a very platonic thing. They're not really romantic with each other, but there is elements of like maybe they were trying to work that in where Renfield had unrequited feelings for her or something.
I mean, he did save her
he
life twice.
Yeah.
and so I think she just hasn't seen anybody in that terrible last town she lives in who actually does good things or decent things. And even
Right.
though he's not a decent person, the little bit of conscience that he's coming back to after all of these years of just doing blindly what Dracula wanted. Essentially, what I came to the conclusion of with Renfield is he satiated his needs and his desires so much so that he's become numb to them. And now doing what he should have been doing from the beginning is what
He was just going through the
entices him.
motions.
Yeah, he's a piece of shit.
He was on autopilot when he was helping Dracula for all those years.
Yeah, whatever. I think he's on autopilot going against Dracula in this moment.
Yeah, he's kind of just led around by public consensus. He doesn't really have any self-actualization in the movie except for what he does at the end, I guess.
You
Yeah,
mean no
right.
character
This is
development?
well,
No,
no.
no autonomy. I mean, which is he's not supposed to have autonomy because he's a thrall. But then,
Mhm.
like his other the source of his autonomy comes from other group pressure. So
Yeah.
Mm.
I don't
From a
really
bunch
know.
of other broken people telling him that the
Yeah.
person he doesn't like is a narcissist. Because that's healthy.
Well, he found the church.
Ooh, yes, he did. Which is a really big undertone of this entire movie, if we're really paying attention.
Mm-hmm.
It's like,
Church
oh, you
bad.
thought your life was bad. Look how bad your life got when you found the church. Like, oh,
Okay, well, it's just a church that hosts a self-help group, just like AAs are at churches.
yeah.
Right.
Most alien
So,
movies I've seen, they have the alien meet groups happen in churches too.
yeah, yeah. Almost at Fight Club, they did that at churches.
That's true. In the church basement. And but hey, you messing up. What's the first rule of Fight Club?
And that it's
Tell
overrated.
everybody.
And
So let's see. Renfield. Oh yeah, Renfield goes and he meets up with Rebecca and brings her flowers and gives his statement and all of that good junk. But at this point, he done beat up a bunch of the because they had a big fight when they had the whole scene and he was chopping people's arms off with serving platters. That's pretty much pissed off the gangsters. So now they want to know who is this dude and why is he everywhere we go? From the moment they went to get their drugs back from the low level dudes all the way to this, and every time this cop come up, this dude is involved. Matter of fact, if he didn't do what he did with the low level dudes, the cop never would have got involved with Teddy because Teddy wouldn't have ran off. So let's figure this out. They go, they try to find him. We find out that the drug dealers have access to NSA satellites and they're able to track his face everywhere because they got the police on the payroll and the FBI on the payroll, but somehow they were able to use Interpol information. Anyway, they track and find Teddy, but what they end up doing is going back to the lair because that's his most frequented spot. Um, And that's when they meet Dracula, who kills everybody except Teddy, and then ends up later taking Teddy back to meet his mom so that they can join forces and become a big bad evil duo or evil regime. But before all of that happens, uh I was gonna call him Renfield. Dracula goes to Renfield's apartment because he finds out from Teddy that, you know, Renfield
He
out here
snitched.
saving innocent people and shit.
Teddy snitched
What?
again.
Teddy snitched.
He snitched on Renfield.
He
You
snitched
know
for
he was
real though.
saving people.
Telling on everybody. Yeah, yeah.
Right.
You know you saving folk out here. Um, so what does Dracula do? Dracula goes, he meets up with him, he tells him how ungrateful he is. He reminds him that he came to him. Dracula didn't ask him to be his servant. He asked to be Dracula's servant in return for real estate success, in return to get away from his family, in return to, oh, I don't know, be successful. And I gave you all of those things. And here you are acting like the victim, but you're the one who agreed to protect me in return for all those things. So why is it my fault? Hmm? Hmm? Slice.
It's not.
Should kill you.
It's called manipulations.
Yeah, pretty much.
No, but Dracula's right though.
But he's right. Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
Renfield left his family, his wife and child.
You know what? To be fair, though, there is a certain amount of manipulation that comes with that, because when you become his thrall, you inadvertently are succumbing to his will as well. So just like when what's his name
Yeah,
starts
the eyes,
accidentally calls him master, he's like, see. So there is a
Shut up.
part, there is some involuntary, stuff that comes along with that.
Yeah, but couldn't you just infer that Dracula would want you to be his servant forever?
Yeah, he has to break your will first.
Yeah, but I
Is he
mean,
just a genie that gives you wishes? You didn't think Dracula would be a monkey's paw?
well, of course, I would have assumed it. But what I'm saying is,
That's the
there is
reasonable
a certain level of involuntary servitude and
sure.
and mental control that comes with that.
Yeah, I just don't think that the deal was I don't think the deal was surreptitious at all. I think that it's probably pretty clear. You could assume that if Dracula grants you what you want, you're going to have to do something for him.
Yeah, slavery. I mean, Slavicry.
For a lifetime.
Thraldom.
Right.
Yeah.
For in perpetuity.
Right. There you go.
Yeah,
that's a contractual term.
Yeah.
The artist becomes in perpetuity.
Think about it that way. But so he gets reminded of all of that. And then also Dracula goes and kills everybody in the group because, I got to make you feel some pain because you wasn't going, you just couldn't leave well enough alone. I literally wasn't out here doing no dirt. All you have to do is feed me.
The scene was cold too, because he throws him across the room, and in slow motion, he watches him kill everybody before he even hit the ground in the back of the room. Everybody gets slashed in the face. Yeah,
I thought that was cool. I was like, oh, that was great style choicing.
Yeah.
Good vampire.
Yeah. Yeah. Showcase of speed and strength all at once.
You turn off the lights. Hit the switch and be in bed before the lights go out.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. So let's see. Dracula. Excuse me. The police arrive because Dracula left Renfield there, and Rebecca and her partner call in reinforcements because they need to take in Renfield.
All the bodies, Renfield,
and all the bodies. But that's not what happens. What ends up happening is the police and the Lobos arrive because after he made that call, he already knew what was going to happen. And let's see. Rebecca runs. And after they do all of that, so yeah, Rebecca.
That scene didn't make sense.
No, it didn't. But they end up. She has Teddy she has Renfield in the back, and everybody shows up. And instead of Rebecca taking the promotion and everything for getting Teddy and leaving, she decides to run excuse me, not Renfield, taking the deal from Teddy for Renfield. She runs with Renfield, gets shot in the arm, and wakes up the next morning with Renfield taking care of her. And they basically get ready to go and wage an entire war against the Lobos and Dracula. In the process,
And the police.
and the police. In the process, a phone call is made. Um, oh no, the phone call. Sorry, there was actually a fight scene at the apartment before that happened. So there's a quick fight scene at the apartment. He has to eat all the ants. He said the mom tells him he's a bad guy. He says sometimes it comes in handy. But fight scenes,
Wait a
all the
minute.
fight scenes in this movie are pretty cool. What's up?
Wait a minute. He actually ripped the guy's arms off and beat him with the wet end. That was
Yeah,
pretty funny.
he also used both of those arms as spears and impaled people through doors.
Yeah, I didn't want to skip over that. I thought we needed to give that some voice.
Oh yeah,
'Cause
that's what I'm
Nope.
saying.
that was pretty good.
No.
Every fight scene in this movie was pretty dope. Like what was the one? There was the one where he rolled the guy from 2 floors down like a surfboard and it splattered him on top of the car.
Right. I just
Pretty
wanted to
dope.
make sure we mentioned that because the fight scenes they were pretty decent. And
Oh, yeah.
reviewing the movie, we got to mention those as honorable mentions because they kind of make it worth watching.
I agree. The fight scenes make this beyond like honestly, they're what the only thing in this movie probably worth rewinding are the fight scenes. Absolutely. Mike is absolutely right. Every single fight scene, you're gonna get a lot of blood, a lot of gore. This particular fight scene might have been the craziest.
Yeah.
In the one where Dracula is taking out all of the bad guys that came into his lair, I thought should have been the craziest because you literally broke into Dracula's lair, but he
Right.
actually only killed them, but
Showcase his
without.
speed.
Yeah, that's it. He was just hurting people. Like he was killing them so cleanly that the blood wasn't coming out of them. But I
Mhm.
guess that's how he saved his food for later. He was just popping them upside the head so they'd be knocked. Anyway, um, Rebecca gets a call from Bella Francesca.
Sure.
Mhm.
I think that's her name. But gets a call from Mama Lobo saying that they have her sister and that
No, she called her sister, didn't she?
no, you're right. She called her sister, and this is when her sister tell we already talked about it, so I actually forgot about this again. This is when she talks to her sister, and her sister tells her about all of the crimes that pin that she gave her is linked to, and that's when they start talking about how old Renfield is. She tells him he's with her, and she's gonna bring him to her because the Lobos are actually also looking for them.
No, that happens before the fight scene at the apartment, and then she calls her sister after they escape the apartment, and that's when Mama Lobos answered her phone.
Damn, you got a better memory than me, and I took notes. So, yeah, hey, there you go. But yeah, the apartment that the kid and the mom were in got shot up too. I didn't like that. I thought that was terrible. Like, remember where they were before you just let 50 bullets riddle through the wall.
Right.
Anyway, let's see. We find out that
Um,
Teddy is the new familiar. He and Mama Lobo meet. Dracula and Mama Lobo meet. They fall in love or whatever the hell is going on there. And Teddy admits his mistakes to Rebecca. Right after that, Mama Lobo, you're right. This is when Mama Lobo makes that call telling Rebecca that she has her sister and that we find out Dracula and her are now partners, both sides ready up for battle. And Dracula gave the whole gang what they're calling Dracula powers.
Yeah.
I
Here
thought
comes
that
my
was a
favorite
good
scene
name
in the
for
whole
it.
movie, though.
Okay. Yeah.
I think you already know.
The fight scene?
At the end of it.
Oh, anyway. I don't know. You gonna have to remind me probably. So that yeah, he creates the entire army. There's a big fight. Dracula tries to sway Rebecca over to his side to save her sister, and we think that it's working, but she tries to open the blinds to kill him. He explodes into fire.
Fire bats.
Fire bats. You're right. He's catching on fire, but he explodes into bats and he flies away, running away from them. But even though he runs away, something that happened right before that, there was a showdown between Renfield and Teddy. This was
Yes.
actually pretty fun.
That's the part I'm talking about.
Got you. Teddy snorted a millipede, which was crazy.
Right.
But I also thought that him in the millipede was a great style choicing because it was a little more sinister than a spider and a bunch of crickets and the whole like. Buddy, you're eating all the nice animals. Go eat some bad insects. Maybe that'll give you some crazier powers.
Right.
But they have a fight and it looks like Teddy is getting the best of Renfield, but Renfield really just waits till he gets too excited and he jumps and he's, oh, I'm gonna kill you. And he munches the biggest bug he has in his arsenal and power kicks that man in the abdomen where he shits blood and vomits blood and dies on
Wait a
impact.
minute. It was a great scene because they did a Mortal Kombat X-ray move where you see his internal organs, all
Explode.
his bones shatter from getting kicked in the stomach, and you see his stomach empty out his butt, and then you see all his blood empty out his mouth at the same time.
Right.
Best scene,
That was
best
crazy.
fight scene ending in the movie right there.
Oh yeah, for sure. But yeah, he exploded his insides with a kick. Oh, paw. But yeah, I thought that was actually yeah, I didn't need to whoop paw, but I did it anyway. But yeah, Aquafina lifts the shades up. They try to kill Dracula. He tries to get away, but through a little tussling and fighting and arguing, they end up getting him trapped in a protection circle made of cocaine, baby.
It's cocaine,
circle.
baby.
Cocaine circle.
Probably
protect
stronger
me.
than salt.
I was actually thinking that. If that, especially
Probably.
because they supposed to be the biggest drug dealers in the whole city. They're supposed to be, that's that pure.
Mhm.
That salt
pearl
ain't
pure.
even pure no more.
Yeah, right.
Salt not even, they cut the salt. So if you got pure cocaine, that's better than salt for sure.
They cut the salt with fentanyl.
Oh no.
But it's like the lie. But what they end up doing is severely dismembering Dracula and trying to slow, if not prevent him ever being able to regenerate, because as Renfield, I was gonna call him Renegade, as Renfield said, he's seen Dracula recover some crazy shit. But they revive the FBI sister named Kate with a little bit of Dracula blood, and then they revive the entire group with a little bit of Dracula blood. The group that's been to the other side for a while and they've seen things that they can't forget and they know things that they can't forget. But
So do you think that if that ends up in the ocean, if Dracula ends up in the ocean, the salt water will start to erode at the concrete and he'll be able to reform himself once all the concrete melts away?
Yes.
over time, yes. But I'm thinking they probably didn't get all of him because they didn't seem like the most ultra competent bunch. So all the blood and brains and tissue matter that was splattered around the room that ends up getting cleaned up later is gonna be thrown into trash cans and shit in different
We're
places
gonna have
too.
a multiplicity situation.
I think so. Actually, I was actually
Multiple
about to hint at
Draculas.
you might get a Renfield 2, and it's a bunch of mini Draculas trying to find their way back to each other.
Okay, I like it. You could go with that.
I can go
And
with
I
that
think
too.
I'm about to say, and because of how silly this movie was, I think that would fit right into the lore.
Bunch of
we might
Nicolas
have a new
Cage
Ernest-
Dracula hobbits.
Yeah, we
That
might
would
have
be
a new
fun.
Ernest style saga called Renfield.
Mhm.
But overall, that brings us to the end of the movie. Oh, the last notable thing is that the Dracula blood is sitting on the table like it's a batch of Kool-Aid.
I mean, it
That's
comes
what you do
in
with the Fountain of
comes in
Youth.
handy.
It wasn't a picture.
That's what you do with the Fountain of Youth.
Yeah, you always. I mean, I would keep some on hand. Shit. Kidding?
I wouldn't
mean,
leave
why
it
not?
out where everybody else could get to it, but yeah, I would keep some on hand. Here,
That brings a
EPI
whole new meaning to
vial.
rub some Tessin on it.
Hey now, it definitely brings a new wow. That is a fact. Wow. And it's the
Yep.
same color as old school Tussin, not that new shit.
Yeah.
That new shit, I don't know what that is. That's vitamin E.
Pretty much. Cod liver oil.
Hey, don't you badmouth cod liver oil.
I'm not.
That's
Same color as cod liver
for
oil.
sure. Yeah, same color. Not the same consistency. That shit moves slower than molasses, doesn't it?
Yes.
All right, age is showing. I'm talking about molasses and cod liver oil. What the hell is wrong with me? Well, with that being said, let's get into some ratings. I don't know if we really need final
I got
thoughts
some
or
butter
final
to
thoughts are
churn.
smooth.
We got to hurry this up.
Hey, now what you say, man? That's hilarious. So yeah, you know what? I've been dodging going first on the ratings for quite some time lately. I think that's not true. I probably actually went first like one of the last two times, but I'm gonna go first again today. I'm gonna give this a good hearty 5.5 because it's funny. It was a good watch. It could even be watched again, but I don't think it was funny enough to be higher than that. Um, and there was nothing really like to really hold on to. I could see this getting an overall 6 or something like that from most outlets, maybe even a 7. But anything higher than that, I would feel like it's purchased. But for me, it's gonna get a 5.5. Hey, what's up, Siobhan? We see
Hey,
you down
Siobhan.
there.
Hey,
Thanks for hanging
tuning
out.
in.
Thanks for tuning in. Yes, indeed.
absolutely.
But yeah. So,
Um,
fellas, what you guys got?
um, I'm gonna be honest with you. I rated it at a 6.
Okay.
Because I'm not big on comedies, but I thought this was pretty entertaining. It had some scuttlebutt moments in it, and that was good enough for me. I see Nick disapproves.
Yes. Yes, I do.
Hey, man, she's entertaining. What do you guys want from her?
Hey, I'm not gonna go that far. I like making fun of people, and that part's fun for me.
Well, I do want to add this since we're bringing her up in the final thoughts. Everything
Mhm.
she's in that we've reviewed, we talk about her, but we don't obliterate her. So we don't hate her.
No.
I got no reason to hate her.
That's all I'm saying. So
No.
we enjoy it a little bit. I think I more
I
than
don't hate her
anybody
as a
else understand.
person. I just think that her stage name is crap.
It's water.
It's not water. It's water if you were spelling it ghettoly. That's what
Yeah.
that is.
Well, I mean,
mean,
she already.
AWKWAFINA. Aquafina.
I
Come
have so many thoughts. I don't think any of them are suitable for the air.
on. I'm just saying, man.
We're probably thinking some similar stuff,
Yeah.
but it is what it is. I mean, she is a noted rapper, so let's not try to disparage her so much.
DJ Hibbity Dibbity. All right. Fair enough.
Can't believe you did that. I thought you were gonna say she's a noted comic or something like that, but
Is she?
no, that's not where you went. I said
Is she?
comic versus comedian, like she does comedy movies.
Okay.
I don't know if she's.
I
I
was
don't know
gonna
if she does
say,
stand up. I
I
don't
didn't
think
know
she
she
does
was
stand up, so
funny.
I can't call her a comedian.
Right. I was gonna say, I didn't know she was funny.
You
Okay.
have to be funny to be a comic. Never mind. I'm not doing this.
Well,
Again.
Oh, man. See, I just said I didn't like her stage name. That's all I
You're
said.
right, and that's my fault. I do this every single time. I have way
You
too many
do.
questions, too many opinions, and then I
Yeah.
end up setting Mike off, and we end up sitting here questioning for the next. We're gonna get off the air, and for 10 minutes we're gonna be like, "Fuck, what did we say to get flagged?"
Mm.
This is all
Siobhan
true.
has a question down here. Siobhan says, "Have y'all done the movie Slash Back on Hulu?" No,
Not
but
yet.
it sounds like it's either about Walmart rollbacks, about those Razorback shirts that girls wear nowadays, or something that probably shouldn't say on air. But yeah.
Oh, maybe it's like a slasher movie in a Walmart.
I thought it was gonna have something to do with
Ooh.
Aquafina.
Man,
Ooh. Oh, actually, that might be the Aquafina movie on Hulu.
it's just on sale on aisle 3, guys. Don't worry about it.
Right?
Jesus.
You know what?
All
It's
right.
funny
Let's.
because she actually does have
I
a
gave it a
movie.
6, and I'm gonna stop messing around. Go ahead.
Yeah.
You know, there is a serious Aquafina movie, and I think that's the movie that Siobhan's talking about, and I might have to bring that up for review.
What's it called again?
I don't. The one she just talked about was Slashback, but I don't know the name of the Aquafina movie off the top of my head. If it's that, then it's Slashback, but I don't know that for sure.
Mm.
Anyway, but Nick, yeah. So what's your ratings? How you feeling about Renfield?
Slashback is a Canadian adventure sci-fi directed by Nyla Inukshuk, and it stars Christian Bond, Sean Benson, and Troy James. And the synopsis is:
Not
in
Aquafina.
Nunavut, 4 girls who like horror and alien movies love their phones and even their poor elders who believe in shapeshifters because this is like a native movie.
I was gonna say that sounds
Yeah.
like that might be a native movie. Yep, I just
Yeah.
pulled it up. It is.
Uh-huh. I think my wife is watching it right now. Like,
No joke.
I'm no joke. I think she's watching it right
I'm
now.
looking at
Great.
the promo poster for it, and yeah,
That's
No, we
the
haven't checked that
plan.
out. We might have to add that to the list, Siobhan, for
yeah.
sure.
There's
It
a
came out
couple
last
movies you
year.
get to throw on the list. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I'm gonna agree with Mike here. I think it's a 6. I enjoyed it. I think it was fine. It's a serviceable movie. It's not too long. It's only 90 minutes, which is great. I think the pacing is really good in the movie. There are funny moments, definitely funny moments. I don't really have any critiques. It's just not something that wows me all that much. So I enjoyed it for what it was. I think what it was very well. I like Nicolas Cage. I think he did Dracula well. I would have liked to see a little bit more of him, to be honest.
Yep.
But yeah, it's a fun flick. It's a fun flick. You can, not take it too seriously. You can laugh and you can enjoy yourself. So
I think he does really well in movies not associated with Disney.
yeah, I
think
mean,
he does.
National Treasure is a good movie. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen National Treasure? It's good.
Have you ever seen the National Treasure series? Is the real
Yeah.
question.
I think
Yes,
the
I
third
have.
one kind of falls off, but I liked 1 and 2.
Fair enough.
Uh-huh.
I actually don't know if I saw number 3, if I'm being honest, but I know number 1 and 2. Okay, look, I'll say this. I thought National Treasure was not going to be good because of Nicolas Cage, and then I saw it, and I was mad that I waited so long to see it. I was like, "Yo, this movie,
Yeah, me too.
freaking epic."
Me too. Yeah, it's good. I like it. Nicolas Cage kind of does everything well.
I'm not gonna
Even
say that.
I mean,
Excuse me.
kind of does. The
Mhm.
I'm
Wicker
not saying he
Man.
doesn't. Yeah. I get you.
The
I'm not saying he doesn't.
bees. The
bees.
bees.
And that's what I'm gonna say. I'm not saying he doesn't. I sometimes wonder if he thinks he's as funny as he is, and that's what makes me wonder because I have no proof that he knows he's as funny as he is. He knows he's popular and influential, but I don't know if he knows he's
Yeah.
funny. And
I
I'm
think a lot of
questioning
the time we're
that.
laughing at him and not with him.
Right.
Exactly.
Because when he
And
does
sometimes
Crazy
you can
Eyes,
still knows that. You can still know that you can know
Mhm.
that that's terrible and we laughing at it and still be like, hey, I know what's selling though.
That's why he did that movie, The Immense Weight of whatever talent, Unbreakable Talent or whatever, with Pedro
That-
Pascal, where he plays
that
himself.
movie was actually pretty good.
What?
It was funny. Yeah.
Nicolas
Yeah.
Cage
was
and
pretty
Pedro
funny.
Pascal, huh?
Yeah,
Mhm.
that movie's actually pretty good. I think you'll like that one, Keelan.
I
Yeah.
think I would. I'm
I
sitting
think you
here
would.
thinking
It's
like
enjoyable.
Yeah.
that sounds much better than John Travolta and Nicolas Cage, and Face Off is an epic movie.
Why was I?
It is.
I was just thinking about that movie, and I was like, man, that movie's kind of terrible.
It is, but it's great. I want to take his face off.
Right.
Like
You'll like the chemistry between Nick Cage and Pedro Pascal. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
They have good
It's-
chemistry.
You know what? I have to admit, and I think I felt this way for a long time. I got to remember what movie it was that made me start disliking Nick Cage because I used to love Con Air.
Gone in
Air,
60
Face
Seconds.
Off, Gone in
that
60. No, I love that
car
movie too.
the car movie.
I love that movie too.
The Knowing.
I did
Yeah.
not like The Knowing.
The Wicker Man.
I like The Wicker Man.
I didn't care for The Wicker Man. I didn't care for it.
The Wicker Man is the bees. The bees.
Yeah, I
I
didn't
don't
care for
know.
it.
Yeah, I mean he's a Coppola, so obviously he has acting talk.
That's
acting
a
chops.
fact as well. Yeah.
Did you see the
That's
one
not-
where he was a revenant from hell? I forgot what it's called.
Ghost
No, but
Ghost
wasn't he supposed to be Ghost Rider?
He was Ghost Rider,
Oh, he
and
was
that's when
Ghost
he.
Rider.
That was when he definitely fell off as far as
That's
with
the
Disney.
downfall right there. That's it.
'Cause
I
It
think
The
was when
first
he
one
did
was
Ghost
decent
Rider.
one. The second one was awful.
Yep.
I think
Yeah,
Ghost-
awful.
I think them giving him the first Ghost Rider was great, and that's where he belonged. The second Ghost Rider, I think, was rushed.
It was. Even the special effects were terrible.
Mhm.
And then the
Well,
laughing with the transformation, that was stupid.
Fair. Well, but that was to say he was going mad from the transformations, which was kind of part of it. Siobhan says she did not care for the Wicker Man, but she liked the Knowing. You know what? We appreciate your input.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is the Knowing is the one where the guy has like all these dreams about the end of the world or something?
I think so.
think that's what
Yeah,
it is.
I believe that's the one.
Yeah.
And then there's the one where he could see the future.
I
I
think
get those
that's
two
the
confused.
Knowing.
I think I might say which. Maybe those are two different movies, huh?
It's where he starts to like have dreams about disasters that are about to happen, and then he has
Yeah.
to like
Yeah,
let people know about them.
Maybe I did like that. I might have to watch that again.
that one was decent. It's the one where he was able to see multiple futures. That was kind of stupid.
Oh, okay. Well, the Knowing came out around probably the same time as like the end of the world in 2012 and all of that, huh?
Probably.
Land
Who
Before
knows?
Time. Anyway, all right. Well,
Honestly, we might have to do a banter about Nicolas Cage movies.
oh no,
Sounds like
absolutely.
it.
You
His
know what's crazy? I'll say
filmography.
this. I'll say this on air, Nick. We actually had
Yeah.
that discussion before.
Oh, have we?
We had that discussion a while ago, actually, like back in the Eraser days.
Oh, maybe. Yeah. Yeah, like you
Yeah.
got lots of stuff from 1980
hmm
all the way back then. But yeah,
It's
he's
been
been in
around
so
forever.
much stuff. Jesus.
Yeah. Like back when we were doing things like V for Vendetta and thinking like, where could this go? Um, with that being said, though, we have come to a 17.5 out of 30. That gives you a ballpark of about 5.9, 5.8. Let's just give it a solid 6. I mean, I know I gave it a 5.5, but you guys understand where we are, where we're
Yeah.
headed, what we're looking at around here. We did enjoy this movie. Renfield is something that you guys should go and check out. That Screen Time Continuum enjoyed. And as we say all the time, even if we don't enjoy a movie, please go and check it out. Give your own opinion right here in the comments. Tell us how you did or did not feel about it. Even if you don't see a response, believe you me, we read a lot of the comments that you guys leave us, and we appreciate it.
I mean,
Also, if you have
I'll respond if you're not a bot, so don't worry about it. Yeah.
very, very true. Uh, Also, guys, if you have suggestions for movies that we should check out, as Siobhan did here on this live episode, you can always come to our live shows, our live episodes, tune in with us while we're on and jump in and suggest movies to us, as well as go into the comment section of the video that you're listening to or watching that you enjoy the most, and let us know on there what you think we should be reviewing and bringing forth what you thought of something we did and or what you think of the movie you want us to review. The Screen Time Continuum is here for you guys every week, 2 times a week, just so you guys know. So this is the time for you who are new. This is the time to look at your screen, turn it to the side, make sure you get that landscape so that you can click, 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 click. That's right. Screenshot what's going on your screen right now so that you can know exactly when to hear us, when to check us out, what new shows you can tune into, tell your friends about. There's a show available for you literally every day except for Mondays. We are on air giving you something new. But we appreciate you guys. We'll be continuing to give new stuff, building new stuff, thinking about new stuff, telling your friends. You'll be telling your friends. We'll probably even get stickers so that we can slap those and you'll be like, hey, 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 I know that sticker. That must be their car. No, that's not our car. We slap the stickers on our friends' cars so you guys can't find us. But we do appreciate you guys for hanging out. Hey, Siobhan, we appreciate you guys for hanging. We appreciate you, not you guys. You're one person. Siobhan, we appreciate you for hanging out. And her comment here says, good watching you guys. We appreciate that. I enjoy it, though I came in late. I think I butchered
Better
that, but I
late
think
than
she
never.
said she
Anytime is a good
enjoyed
time.
it. And yes,
Absolutely.
what Phyllis said, there is no such time as late, especially when it comes to the internet. On time is when you push play. We appreciate everybody for checking us out, hanging out with us, listening to my rambles. And if you're wondering, I tried to do that all in one breath. It just didn't work. For the Screen Time Continuum, my name is Keelan.
I'm Nick.
And I'm Mike.
Have a great
And
one,
I'm Mike.
guys. And
I'm Batman.
Where is
I was just about to
she?
say, Dracula
Why
and
did you
Batman
say
have the
that
same voice.
name?
Save Martha.
Terrible.